Hey guys, make sure I'm live here. Going live. Hmm, Doesn't seem to be going live. Let's see. I'm going to check again here. There we go. Okay. Looks like we are live now. Hey, I just wanted to show you today some cool software that I've been using actually for a good while now, and just how it creates a prosthesis that may look different from other things that you see out there. So one of those software packages that I use is called nTopology, and one thing that I love is how to integrate some of the Click Medical things as well. So I have this really difficult project that I'm going to show you real quick. That once you see all the pieces and parts, you'll see why it was so hard. But without this kind of software and some of the scripting that happens with this, it would be even more difficult to make it. So I just wanted to show you that. So I am going to cut to my screen here. Let me just make sure that we're going live. Make my head a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay. So this is nTopology, and you do everything via a notebook. And man, actually, that's a pretty cool picture with me in there and the head there. So what we have is a socket that has multiple aspects on it. You can see two BOAs, or two Click Medical systems. You've got the power on button. You have the coapt system here that has to go in. You have a valve, and it's a super long below elbow. So you've got to have some other things here as well. We've got the tubing, and then underneath, we've kind of have to make sure that we've got all the batteries, the processor, the computer, room for the buttons, room for the wires. All that stuff has to all be going. And so let me just I'm going to hide. Let's hide that, and we'll hide these two. So this is what we've got. So you've got the area for um, the power and the charging here. You can see that every single site is marked, so they will know where to go, and there's room for the cables in here. So for every single one, there's also room for the power button. You've got the valve in here. On the flip side, you've got room for the computer, and then you can see these other ones here. And then obviously flexible around the condyles and above the olecranon there. So pretty neat. Oh, and the batteries, of course. So some of these hands, this is for a Tasca hand. So some of these hands have pretty significant batteries to make it work. And so you can see that these are large battery areas to go in there. So that's one neat thing about 3D printing as well is or design is you can actually mock all this up. And then what I do is, putting those wires every which way is pretty difficult. So I have a very basic stochastic lattice here that will compress with the wires. So you can actually run the wires on top of that, and then it will compress underneath. So pretty neat setup. A lot to think about. And when you're making these myoelectric arms and such, a lot of people will try to do it not digitally because it is so labor intensive. But once you reverse engineer some of these components, you can really make a very elegant solution going. So um, that is a little bit on how I make these prostheses. You can see that there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of notebooks that are open and files that make this happen. But what's neat is I'm able to control then every variable that goes into that as well. So I'll throw back up the whole socket system here, just so you can kind of get a view of that. And actually, we'll take this guy out so you can kind of see inside. So you can see that on the inside, I've got room for all the lugs. I've got the cut for the BOA just so they can get in, or the Click Medical. The room for the button here, the cutout for the adjustment there, and you can a little bit see just the cutout just to make sure that we have enough room for the batteries. And then to go to the wrist, I also have a little bit of a cutout for wires to come to the wrist. And then at the very end, we even have the screws for the motion control wrist. So all the aspects of a myoelectric prosthesis in a fairly elegant package, ready to rock and roll. So I thought you would enjoy seeing that. So thank you all for watching. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.